Alright, so in today's video, I got some gold-filled scrap. Now, this stuff is kind of magnetic. It's not super strong. So this is more gold-filled. And I believe that is iron under there. Or steel, or... Where this... It's got a little bit to it, but it's not as much. So I'm thinking this is a nickel. It's got some nickel in it, especially this stuff, since it's, you know, it's more so on the white gold side. But I just wanted to get a tally here quick. I'm saving this for the other. I got a couple more batches that are pretty that are more magnetic than these, and so I'm gonna wait until I get more to do that. But I want to test this and see if that's nickel or if that's you know, steel, because I also want to try a method somebody had mentioned about putting a little bit of sulfuric acid in there to dissolve that rust, and I want to see if we can save some nitric going that route. There's not a lot here, so I'm not expecting a huge yield by any means. Alright, so we got 14 grams. Alright, I'm going to go incinerate this, and we're going to break out the new 500 milliliter beaker. We'll get that in use today. And I'm going to go ahead and put, we're going to go small batches. I'm going to do 100 and 100. So I'm going to do 100 milliliters of distilled water, and then when I come back, I'll get you back on here and I'll put another 100 milliliters of nitric acid. Alright, let's go ahead and put another 100 milliliters of nitric acid in here. So we got some pretty good reaction going. I don't have any heat on that yet. So what I gotta do is, somebody had mentioned to get it hot, and then towards the end put it in a boil. So that's what I'm gonna do. You got some immediate reaction there. So we're gonna go up, and I'm just gonna put this on 2 right now. And then when I see the reaction start to slow down, I'm going to crank it up to a boil. And we're going to go until we don't see any more fumes. But that 1-to-1 ratio, we have quite the vigorous reaction right off the bat. So, and not as much waste as you guys were saying. So this might have to be a new step. That's a pretty strong reaction. We're getting a little bit of foam. I might do this in segments here. Move this so that it's right above my vent hood. There we go. And I got the heat turned down. I don't even have it on 1. It's like I got 3 dots before, and it's going to be on the 2nd dot before 1. When it starts to slow down, I'll go ahead and turn the heat up, but I don't want any boil overs. So, well, if we get a boil over, that's part of trying new things, right? So, see in a little bit. Alright, so that reaction pretty much died down. So I'm going to go ahead and boost that up. We're going to go to 3 1/2, 3 3/4, and we should get that on a boil. and we're going to boil it until this is clear. So we can see we're still making fumes, so we still have leftover nitric in there. Let's utilize it. Alright, I would say that we have used all the nitric in there. That is perfectly clear. So I'll grab my beaker. Let's see. I'm going to turn this off. Turn that down a little bit. Yep, that's a little hot. There we go. So it looks like that did a really good job. Yeah, it ripped a hole in it. Alright, so for my next one here, we're just going to go ahead and use this last little bit of leftover nitric. Got my flask bag, and then we'll go ahead and let that sit there for quite some time. Turn that back up to 4, 3 3¾ We'll let that boil. I'm sure we'll get some more off there, and then in the meantime, I'll go ahead and rinse my clean my flask out. And then we can start filtering our solution. By that time it should have cooled down, so we can use regular filters. We don't have to worry about the coffee filters burning through. Alright, let's let that do its thing. Alright, let's go ahead and filter our solution here. So I've got a regular filter in, 10 to 11 microns, medium speed. This is cooled down, so it's not going to turn into pulp. While that's filtering, we can see we've got a very small fume going. I don't expect a lot happening off of this one. I just want to utilize the rest of it, and then we'll put, you know, if there's not too much reaction, I'll go ahead and start another one, but we'll go slow increments, so that if that first boil did good enough job on it, then we'll know for sure that we got all the base metals off. Alright, let's test this quick. I want to see if we found any silver. Make a little mess on the table. Nothing a little paper towel can't fix. This is like syrup, super concentrated. Yeah, that's that boiling, you can definitely tell the difference. So good call on that. Alright, and instead of using hydrochloric acid to test today, I'm going to throw a little salt in there. That was a lot of salt. There's a small chance that there's a little bit of silver in there. We definitely have a color difference, but we had some good amount of salt coming out of there. I got to get a storage bin for this so I can have a little scoop or something. Get a little more precise pour. But I would say we definitely got a little bit in there. The one thing is, if you put too much salt on there compared to the hydrochloric acid, is you can't tell at the bottom what silver chloride, you know, is like sticking. Or if I used hydrochloric acid as a liquid, you know, then anything that I have left on the bottom, I know for sure would be silver chloride. And I know this is my fault because I added too much salt. There's no question about that. We'll go after it, see if we can get a little bit out of there. I might just use the salt method, and I'll record it this time. See what we can come up out of for the rest of the stuff. But I also want to try something quick too. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm curious. So I want to do a little test too. I want to see. We're going to cement silver out because we know that there's silver in solution there. But there's also nitric left. So I bet you of that first go around we went ahead and got everything. So I'm going to go ahead and save this for next time, along with the stuff that I got in there still, and we'll go after the silver at a later date. Alright, I'm going to pour the rest of this off. And I know all this is good. There's still nitric left in this, so we're gonna save all this, and it's gonna be the first go around for my next project. Which will be coming up shortly. So that's our gold-filled stuff we got there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and keep using this this beaker. Just because the size, there's not a lot of gold in there. So go ahead and make some aquarija. This is not going to take much at all, so I'm probably going to start with maybe like 6 milliliters of nitric, and basically just enough hydrochloric to cover everything. So I'd say maybe 50. We'll go 75 milliliters. There we go. And nitric. Grab my pipette. Let's see here. And I've got roughly 3 milliliters start. And 6 milliliters. Alright, put that in there. put that on the heat. Let's get that out of the way. We can see that that nitric attacking the gold right away. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm curious if I should have done well, probably not, some kind of boil in between there to rinse that off, because I know you guys have mentioned to do, you know, keep doing the boils until they're clear. So should I have done one more in that instance, knowing that I still had leftover nitric, you know, in this solution? Would you guys have skipped that step, or should I still have done one more nitric boil on here with fresh stuff versus that used stuff that I had? You know, I could see we didn't have a reaction in it. You know, I was looking at it, looking back at the film, and I didn't see a color difference. And you know, we did that test with my little beaker, where, you know, I put the copper back in there, and we could see the nitric immediately have a reaction. So, you know, I know we still have leftover nitric in there. So, I mean, I guess I just felt like it was safe to move on to the next, because we didn't have any sort of reaction on that compared to, you know, the copper being put in place. But that's turning nice and gold colored. I'm not expecting a lot here. This was more so for experiment. You know, this was magnetic, and looking at this nitric, I don't see, you know, it's pretty crystal clear with blue. You know, and I've noticed it turns green when you got rust in solution. So I'd say that's, you know, that's pretty much copper and silver with, well, obviously nickel in there because it was magnetic. But I don't think we had any rust in there to deal with at all. Turn my heat back up. So that's interesting, you know, because like I wonder, you know, like this kind of stuff. It's like, this is a pretty strong, like, I guess, I don't know, because it doesn't really hold the whole magnet either. Maybe that's nickel too? This is the most magnetic piece I have. Well, that it feels like that anyway. And then I've got a couple more pieces that I also thought were magnetic. Well, they were magnetic in comparison to like the other pieces that I pulled off of that, you know, off of those, their pins. So like I've got one fancy one that had like there was like a heart, and then it was a feather on one side, and it was all bent up. Otherwise, I would have given it to my wife. It was actually really pretty, but the heart was the gold-filled side because it wasn't magnetic at all, and the other side was completely magnetic, but, you know, still gold on it. But I'm curious if that's all nickel too, you know. But I don't know, it's got a pretty strong, wow. We'll figure it out when we go to dissolve it. It'll be a good way to figure out to test that sulfuric acid suggestion as well. So maybe I'll probably wait, because I only got, I think, 2 pins, so I'll wait till I get more magnetic stuff. I just won an auction, so I actually won a couple. I finally got some stainless steel, or not stainless steel, sterling silver. Finally got some sterling coming. I got not a whole lot. It was 2 different auctions, and they were both roughly like, one was 75, I want to say, and then the other was 50. And then this last one, that was probably too much nitric. well, that's all right. I got sulfamic acid for that. The other one was gold-filled scrap, and it was 97 grams. The guy wanted $180, and I'm like, that's a little pricey, you know. So I just threw an offer of 130 out there just to see what he would say, and he replied back at 150, and then I tried to go to like 145, and he didn't go that low. But so I took it for 150 because I figured 3% of 97 would give me like 2.87 or something around there, so I'd still be in the green. But this stuff also has like gems and stuff, so depending on how much weight comes off, you know, and I get the pure gold there. So we'll see. It'll be close, but I was hoping more so to get a couple more pieces of, you know, magnetic stuff, so I could do a test on that. And so I mean, we're doing this video. It's been 8 minutes. Well, this clip, and there's nothing on the bottom there. But yeah, that was pretty cool to watch. I'm sitting here watching that dissolve. But I'm gonna let that sit and boil for a little while. There's a couple of times I've taken it off too fast, and you see a bunch of particles in there, and then I just gotta do it again. So I'm gonna let that sit in there, even though it looks like it's all gone, for, I don't know, just a half hour to be safe. We're still putting some fumes out. If anything, we'll just boil some of that nitric acid so I won't have to use as much sulfamic. And yeah, we'll see what we got for gold. Alright, looks like we stopped producing some fumes. Let's go ahead and see what we can see what we got leftover. Alright, looks like we stopped producing fumes. Say everything's gonna be in solution. Let's take a quick peek. Clean the outside of that beaker. Yep, I don't see any particles in there. So what I'm gonna do is grab my sulfamic. Just need a very little bit, if any at all. We got like just a couple granules on there just to see our reaction. Nothing. We must have boiled the rest of that out of there. Cool. Because we didn't have a reaction, it means I didn't make any sulfuric acid. So we want to get rid of that lead. So I'm going to put a couple of drops. Sulfuric acid in there. Make sure we drop any of that lead. And I'm just going to run this through a coffee filter. This isn't going to be the actual filtration. This is solely to take that sulfamic acid out of there. And possible lead. wipe the outside of my beaker off so it looks a little better. There we go. Go ahead and put this in the filter bin and spray this off. And it's going to go right back in the beaker. Save that gold for later. Alright. And now I'm just going to let this cool. The amount of distilled water I put in there, the temperature is probably pretty cool. 83. So it's probably 65 degrees down here. So I'll let that sit for quite some time. I don't know. See where we get it to. What temp's going to be in a half hour or an hour, and I'll filter it one more time with the actual my 10 micron filter. And that'll pick up any of the silver chloride that could be potentially in there. You know, maybe if there's lead that still needs to come out, that could still come out of there. And then after that, we will drop that little bit of gold. Oh, and an update here. That is full. So the anode actually came right off. Right off that copper wire that I welded on there. So we're gonna have to do that soon. Oh, and a quick update. Ice cubes. You guys keep saying put distilled water ice cubes in there. I've got a tray coming, so I ordered one. I wanted something like red that would stand out in my freezer. Because it would be, you know, in my regular freezer, so I'll just have to be, you know, super careful when getting the ice so that it doesn't contaminate anything. Do you guys have, I mean, is that what you guys do, or do you guys have like a separate fridge / freezer for your lab? That'd be some good info. You know, because I got a red one, so when it comes here, it you know, in my freezer, hey, don't take the distilled water ones. Not that it's super bad for you, but I read that it would actually absorb some of the minerals and, you know, the nutrients and minerals through your body on its way out. So that's not good, which is why I want something that says, hey, don't drink me. But anyway, just wanted to give you that update. All right, new gloves. So they're not as long as I anticipated. So might hold the sulfuric baths off yet until I can get something higher. I don't think long sleeves would do enough protection. So, but they'll work good for the rest of it. They're easy. They come off easy. They go on easy. I'm happy with that. Gotta order some new filters here. I got just a couple left. Enough to finish this project, I'd say. And I don't see too much settled down there, so that first drop must have done exactly what we needed it to do. Oh, I do see a couple pieces of black in there. Ooh, that is not a fun sound. The speaker did a pretty nice job. It stood up to the heat, so let alone we only tested it once, so I can't say if it's good or not, or gonna last, but. Right. I'm going to try to clean out my filter. A little bit more. There we go. Get it as white as possible. And then I'm going to go spray this out now. Make sure that it's clean quick. Don't need that anymore. Go ahead. Turn the pressure off on that a little bit. Let's see. With that out of the way, and let's drop the gold. That solution is cold. I might have to heat that up a little bit. that up. Got to get that SMB to dissolve. But the gloves work good. Probably should have got one size smaller, but at the same time, I like how easy they are to come on, to pull off. I mean, my palms are kind of wide compared to my fingers, so I have a little trouble getting the right size glove. But it'll work. Let's see, zoom into there. I'll come back when that's warmed up and dissolved. There we go. A little extra heat does the trick. See if we got the foams yet. No foams yet. Let's see here. It's starting to look like coffee. A little buddy just buzzed past me. I'm sitting here watching watching my gold drop out of solution, and all of a sudden he comes down from the ceiling, just let's see. I would have to say that's probably enough SMB. But I like the little beakers. I mean, the bigger beakers for when I got more stuff, but I mean, most of my projects, if you've seen, they're nothing huge, so it works out pretty good. Well, I'll just make sure I do a status test on that solution once it settles out, just to verify we got everything. And it's not a lot of gold, so maybe by the time tonight it'll settle out. If not, we will check it out in the morning. That's a gold drop. Alright, so this is settled out pretty quickly. I imagine because it was a pretty clean gold drop. Let's see. I'd say we got everything. Perfect. Alright, let's do a little cleanup here. And I'm just going to reuse that same filter that I used for the initial. Then all my gold will stay in there. Get my goggles on. Brand new gloves. There we go. All right. Break that surface tension. Let's see here. Where's the best place going to grab? We'll watch it all settle to the bottom there, I imagine. Stuff clumped together pretty good right off the bat. I can see it starting to pick up. I'm going to go ahead and break that surface tension quick. Turn my pressure up here. I might have to let that settle. Yep, I gotta let that settle. Some of it stuck to the top there. And then when I went to go get the stuff that was in the sitting on top of the water column, it decided to all of it decided to come along with it. Works pretty good to keep it, you know, all at the bottom of the corner there. It's kind of risky. I don't know if they make a square one, but at the same time, I feel like that'd be kind of a pain because of the trying to get it out of there. So I'll let that settle for a minute, and then I'll come back and we'll rinse it off with some. I'll do a distilled water boil on it, and then I'll rinse it off with some hydrochloric, and then rinse it off with some distilled water and melt it into a button. All right, let's finish pouring the rest of this off of there. Nice and gently. There we go. Do a little bit of a distilled water boil. Get that ready. We're going to need that here in a minute. That gold seems to be settling much quicker, so give it a couple rinses. Well, we'll do the boil here. Hopefully it clumps up really nicely for us, and then I think I'm just going to rinse it. I've seen a couple of I've seen the master do it on a couple of his videos where he just rinses it with hydrochloric acid. So, and then he does the distilled water boils. So, I'm going to give that a shot. I just wanted to show you how clean that was. All said and done. I'd say that was a really nice drop. Getting a little better at it. One step at a time. Alright, let's go ahead and rinse this off. Yeah, that gold is real heavy now. It sits right down there in the bottom. Sits down there right at the bottom. Starting to get that golden brown. Real nice light red color. That just falls right to the ground too. Do another little rinse. I'll zoom in so you can see the color. It's beautiful. Sinks right down to the bottom. You probably can see it getting a little redder as I go. Do one more. Let that settle back down, which it does in seconds. All right. Well, I don't think that's going to be a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get a measurement of the little bead that I've got going on, the new one. Bead number 2. At least until I get these next couple of projects done. And then from that point, we'll know exactly how much we got today. Alright. Take my gloves off here. There we go. That's a good picture, good color of it. I'd say we got some pretty pure gold there. All right. I think this thing weighs just a little over a gram. Yep, 1.075. All right, and we have 1.5, so we got half a gram out of that. Not too shabby. Gold Blob Jr. continues to grow. Little guy. 1.5 grams. And we can't forget about the original. So I plan on putting these together when they're roughly the same size. So I've got 5 grams of carrot scrap that I got to do. Some of it's 12 and some of it's 10. So 3 grams of it is 12 and 2.1 or something like that is 10 carats. So I figure after that these should be pretty close to the same weight, and then I'll do that video where you can watch me struggle and struggle and struggle to get that poured. I think I'll be able to step up to the next size one though. I think I'll be able to go to a little bigger one, so it might not be as bad, but I'm sure I won't get it on the first try. And if I do, that would be awesome. Not as funny, but that would be awesome. So, well, by the time I have this video out, what I try to do is I try to stay a day ahead. So I've got, you know, my videos I'm making. So today's Wednesday, but I'll put this one out Thursday. So today, your time, Thursday, I've got an ultrasound. So I get to see my baby, and so I'm really excited. It's we've done a couple ultrasounds, but this one I guess is a much higher grade, so we'll get much clearer pictures. So I'm really excited. Like, I don't know, you've probably heard me say it in the other videos, but we've been trying for like 3 years. So it's really cool that this is all happening, and it's also a reason why I'm going so hard on all this stuff, is because let's say 6 months from now, I imagine the video rate's gonna come to a halt. I'll still get them out there on the weekends, but I imagine it's not gonna be every day. So I apologize for that, but it'll only be for a little while. Yep, only be for a little while. But so if you want to get any pictures to me, send them to my email for any labs or any projects you got going on that you want to show off to everybody. Well, I can't say everybody, it's hopefully growing, but yeah, send them to me. My email's in the description, or you can get a hold of me on Facebook. I just started the page, so it's SilverStoll, just a Facebook page. If you want to send me pictures, it's relatively easy to get them off of Messenger. So you can, and if you want to have a conversation, go ahead, shoot me a message. You know, depending where I'm at work, I might not be able to get to it right away, and depending on what time zone. So I know some of you guys are across the pond, so time's a little different. So I'll get to it when I see it, or as fast as I can. And then yeah, I mean, everybody I've met so far, it's been super awesome. I mean, a lot of information, couple of guys that are interested in doing this, and that want to do it, and you know, let's do it. Just do it. I waited a long time to do this before I finally am like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Probably 5 years, I'd say, and it's worth it. It's cool. It's you know, it's worth the investment. And it doesn't even, you know, it doesn't take too much to get started. You know, like I started with a couple of bowl jars, and you know, if you do that, just don't apply any heat. So it's going to take more time, because those definitely aren't heat rated. I found that out the the hard way. So, but yeah, and I'll do that too. I got the sweatshirt and pants that I was wearing when I found out that those weren't lab rated. So I had my safety goggles on, and nothing on the face, so we were good there. But forever we'll have acid wash pants, and same thing with the sweatshirt. So be careful if you guys are going to do this, but definitely do it. It is awesome. And there's so much help too. I mean, I've had nothing but positive reinforcement and, you know, corrective criticism, and it's great. It's awesome. I've learned a lot. You know, I feel much more confident already in doing this in just a short time. I mean, and that's all thanks to you guys, really. I mean, there's no way I would have gotten that much guidance on my own. And what's cool about the videos is, I mean, you basically see exactly what I'm doing. So when I'm doing something I'm not supposed to, you can swat the yellow wrist, you know. So works out pretty good. But hey, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.